In 2024, some of the world's most notorious figures in organized crime were finally caught in the United States. For years, these individuals operated in the shadows, building powerful empires and evading the law with complex networks and ruthless strategies. But in a stunning turn of events, the grip of U.S. authorities tightened, bringing down some of the biggest criminal masterminds. This year, the authorities made a bold statement. No one, no matter how powerful, is beyond reach. Among those arrested were leaders of massive operations that spanned continents, using everything from secret tunnels to high-tech vehicles to move their operations. Their stories are filled with twists and turns, partnerships with corrupt officials, and unimaginable wealth. But all of it came crashing down in 2024. Number 10. Brion Gathers. Brion Gathers, 38, from Chester, Pennsylvania, was a key figure in a notorious illicit substance trafficking network Chester in 2024. His arrest was the result of a years-long investigation known as Operation Rat Pack, which focused on dismantling a major operation involving the distribution of illegal substances. Gathers was one of 8 individuals apprehended during a series of raids in Delaware County and Delaware. He was linked to a network that sourced and distributed illicit substances, primarily in Chester and surrounding areas. The investigation started in early 2024, when authorities, including the Delaware County Narcotics Task Force and Delaware State Police, began monitoring Gathers and his associates. Gathers played a significant role in the transportation and distribution of illicit substances, with investigators uncovering his involvement in arranging deals and managing a portion of the network's activities. Between March and May 2024, law enforcement officers made controlled purchases of illicit substances from members of Gathers' network. Gathers was known to travel with other key figures in the operation, including Kareem Bannister and Gregory Young, who were trusted lieutenants within the group. They conducted transactions across Chester and Wilmington, Delaware, while storing significant quantities of illicit substances in secure locations, including a warehouse used to hide money and other materials. On August 13, 2024, law enforcement executed search warrants at 16 locations linked to the operation. Authorities seized large sums of money, firearms, illicit substances, and vehicles. Gathers, along with the other individuals, faced multiple charges, including involvement in a corrupt organization, possession with intent to deliver illicit substances, conspiracy, and firearms violations. Number 9. Gregory Council. Gregory Council is a 63-year-old resident of Downingtown, Pennsylvania, is also a significant figure in a drug trafficking network that has a vast network in Delaware and its environ. The network, led by Baruti Mills, operated with a well-defined hierarchy. Council, along with others such as Kareem Bannister and Gregory Young, played pivotal roles in facilitating the group's operations. Investigators discovered Council's involvement in coordinating the distribution and storage of illicit substances, as well as managing financial gains obtained from the trade. An investigation began in February 2024, utilizing techniques such as wiretaps, undercover purchases, and surveillance. Council's communication with other members was intercepted, exposing his integral role in acquiring and distributing the substances. For instance, he was connected to transactions facilitated by trusted members like Bannister, who regularly accompanied Mills to storage facilities where the group's stockpile and cash reserves were secured. Between March and May 2024, undercover operatives successfully purchased illicit substances from Young, further strengthening the case against the organization. On August 13, 2024, coordinated raids were conducted at 16 locations in Pennsylvania and Delaware. These efforts led to the seizure of over $63,000 in cash, 3 firearms, ammunition, 6 vehicles, and substantial quantities of illicit substances, effectively dismantling the network. Council and 7 others were apprehended, charged with offenses such as conspiracy, possession with intent to distribute, and operating a corrupt organization. Number 8. Louis Stillis. Louis Stills, who came from Upland, Pennsylvania, he is a member of a popular illicit substance organization. And in 2024, an operation spanning several months exposed Stillis's role as a central player in an organization responsible for distributing illicit substances throughout the region. Stillis's operations were closely tied to Baruti Mills, identified as the leader of the organization. Together with other associates, Stillis participated in transporting, storing, and distributing controlled substances. Delaware and various locations in Chester, Pennsylvania, emphasized the sophistication of the operation. The organization was methodically tracked through undercover purchases and intercepted communications. Between March and May 2024, agents documented Stillis's direct involvement in supplying trusted members with illicit substances for street-level distribution. The network's storage facilities were later raided, uncovering substantial cash reserves, vehicles, weapons, and significant quantities of illicit substances. These discoveries cemented the allegations against Stillis as an integral member of this criminal enterprise. The culmination of this investigation on August 13, 2024, involved simultaneous raids across 16 locations, leading to Stillis's arrest along with 7 others. Law enforcement seized critical evidence, including digital tools used for measurement and packaging. Number 7. Kareem Bannister. Kareem Bannister. Chester, 37, was a key figure in a major illicit substance trafficking organization operating in Delaware County, Pennsylvania. He was deeply involved with Baruti Mills, the leader of the group, and other associates like Gregory Young. The operation, known as Operation Rat Pack, started as an undercover investigation by the Delaware County Narcotics Task Force, NTF, Delaware State Police, and the FBI in early 2024. Bannister, a trusted member, often traveled with Mills to obtain supplies of illicit substances from various locations, including Philadelphia. They would also visit a storage facility in Delaware, which was used to hold illicit substances and money. The investigation gained momentum with the help of undercover operations, where NTF officers bought illicit substances from Young between March and May of 2024 in Chester. In June, the authorities obtained approval to intercept cell phone communications, revealing the full extent of the criminal network, including Bannister's involvement in transporting and distributing illicit substances. On August 13, 2024, law enforcement executed search warrants at multiple locations across Delaware County and Delaware. They seized substantial evidence, including a large amount of cash, several vehicles, and illicit substances. Among the seized items were 430 grams of illicit substances and various firearms. This bust marked a significant blow to the organization, which had been a major player in the distribution of illicit substances in the area. Bannister, along with 7 others, was arrested and charged with operating a corrupt organization, conspiracy, and related offenses. His involvement in transporting and distributing illicit substances made him a critical part of this illicit network. Number 6. Anthony Major. Anthony Major was a known figure of authority within a covert network of illicit operations spanning the United States. His activities centered in Delaware County, Pennsylvania. His influence within this intricate organization was a product of calculated strategies and a meticulous system that ran undetected for years. However, a dedicated investigation led to the unraveling of his operations, painting a vivid picture of his involvement in the distribution of illicit substances and related crimes. The investigation began in February 2024, spearheaded by Delaware County's Narcotics Task Force. Major operated as part of a group known for orchestrating the movement of illicit substances within the community. Their methods included hidden transactions and encrypted communication, leaving little trace of their activities. Undercover operatives tracked Major's transactions from March to May 2024, during which controlled purchases were executed, to build evidence against him. On August 13, 2024, coordinated raids across 16 locations in Pennsylvania and Delaware exposed the breadth of his operations. authorities discovered substantial quantities of illegal materials, cash, and weapons. Key locations, including an apartment above a local grill in Chester, served as storage and distribution points for these materials. Major's arrest came as part of Operation Rat Pack. The Delaware County District Attorney highlighted the sophisticated and dangerous nature of the operation, emphasizing the need to dismantle networks supplying communities with harmful substances. Alongside Major, other prominent figures in the operation were apprehended. Number 5. Leo Davis. Leo Davis, a 47-year-old resident of Chester, Pennsylvania, was a central figure in a major illicit trafficking network, dismantled through an intensive investigation named Operation Rat Pack. The investigation, initiated in February 2024, identified Baruti Mills as the leader of the operation and Davis as a trusted and active participant. Alongside others, Davis was instrumental in the acquisition and distribution of illegal substances. Evidence gathered through controlled undercover transactions and wiretapped communications painted a detailed picture of Davis's role. He was found to have participated in sourcing supplies from various locations, including Philadelphia, and facilitating their storage and distribution. One of the notable sites linked to these activities was a warehouse in Wilmington, Delaware, equipped with tools for packaging and processing illicit substances. Authorities executed search warrants across 16 locations on August 13th, uncovering incriminating evidence. Among the findings were digital scales, residue-laden materials, substantial cash, and vehicles tied to the operation. Davis' arrest followed months of meticulous surveillance, wiretapping, and undercover purchases, during which Davis's involvement was repeatedly confirmed. Currently held at George W. Hill Correctional Facility, with bail set at $500,000, Davis awaits further legal proceedings. His case underscores the commitment of law enforcement to eradicating such operations and restoring peace to affected neighborhoods. Number 4. Gregory Young. Gregory Young is a resident of Marcus Hook, Pennsylvania, emerged as a pivotal figure in one of the most significant drug trafficking operations uncovered in Delaware County. Known as Operation Rat Pack, this investigation exposed a highly organized network involved in the distribution of illicit substances. The operation, led by Baruti Mills, revealed Gregory Young's integral role as a trusted member who facilitated the transportation and sale of the contraband that flowed through the organization. Between February and May 2024, undercover members of the Delaware County Narcotics Task Force made controlled purchases of illicit substances directly from Young in Chester. His involvement extended beyond street-level transactions. Young often accompanied Mills during high-stakes trips to Philadelphia, where they obtained substantial quantities of the contraband. He also played a critical role in managing supplies stored at a warehouse in Wilmington, Delaware. The investigation into the group gained momentum in June 2024, when authorities secured court approval to intercept phone calls between the organization's members. These wiretaps revealed Young's active engagement in acquiring, storing, and distributing the substances. Through meticulous planning, law enforcement coordinated raids on August 13th, targeting 16 locations tied to the network across Delaware County and the state of Delaware. These efforts led to the seizure of over $63,000 in cash, several vehicles, firearms, ammunition, and quantities of illicit substances. Notable locations included a Chester warehouse and an apartment above a local business, both hubs for storage and distribution. Young, alongside his co-defendants, faced charges that included operating a corrupt organization, conspiracy, possession with intent to distribute, and firearms violations. Number 2. Ismael El Mayo, Zambada. Ismael El Mayo, Zambada, was one of the most elusive figures in the illicit trade. Born in 1948 in Sinaloa, Mexico, Zambada's journey into the world of criminal enterprise began in the 1970s. Initially working as an enforcer, he quickly rose through the ranks of the Juarez cartel. After the fall of Juarez's leader, Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo, Zambada forged an alliance with Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, creating what would become the Sinaloa Cartel. The Sinaloa Cartel expanded under Zambada's leadership, mastering the smuggling of illicit substances into the United States. The operation involved sophisticated networks, including tunnels, boats, and trucks, transporting vast quantities of illegal goods, often reaching major U.S. cities like Chicago, Los Angeles, and New York. Zambada, unlike other cartel figures, stayed out of the limelight, avoiding the flamboyant lifestyle that often brought attention to his peers. This strategy helped him evade law enforcement for years, even as the U.S. government placed bounties on his head, offering up to $15 million for information leading to his capture. In 2024, after decades of evading justice, Zambada was finally arrested in El Paso, Texas, alongside Joaquin Guzman Lopez, the son of his former partner. The arrest followed a complex operation, with U.S. authorities receiving a tip-off that Zambada would be meeting Guzman Lopez in Mexico. Zambada's lawyer later claimed that he was lured into an ambush under false pretenses, forcefully adopted, and flown to the U.S. against his will. Number 1. Joaquin Guzman Lopez. Joaquin Guzman Lopez, the son of the infamous Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, emerged as a key figure within the Sinaloa cartel. His operations were vast, extending across borders and influencing a network responsible for the widespread distribution of illicit substances. Following his father's imprisonment, Joaquin, alongside his brothers, stepped into leadership roles, leveraging their inherited power to expand their influence. From a young age, Joaquin displayed a keen understanding of the operations, reportedly inheriting resources and contacts from his late brother, Edgar Guzman Lopez. These connections allowed him to oversee the procurement of substantial quantities of illicit substances from South America and coordinate their movement into North America. Under his guidance, the cartel also established laboratories capable of producing large amounts of controlled substances, which were then trafficked internationally. Joaquin's involvement came to the forefront following a dramatic turn of events that led to his arrest. Reports suggest he orchestrated a deceptive operation involving Ismael El Mayo Zambada, a co-leader of the Sinaloa cartel. Joaquin reportedly convinced Zambada to board a private plane under the pretense of inspecting properties in northern Mexico. Instead, the flight landed in the United States, where both men were apprehended by federal authorities. This operation marked a critical moment in law enforcement's efforts against the cartel. Joaquin faced a federal indictment, detailing his role in trafficking significant quantities of illicit substances, money laundering, and related conspiracies.